What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I want to address the stimulus package update, where we're at, what Democrats are looking for, and just to give you an idea, Democrats want to see the stimulus extended. Now, I want to be very clear. We are getting more reports that yes, lawmakers are hoping to get a stimulus check included into the next infrastructure package. However, it's one of those very contentious pieces of legislation because if it costs $400 billion, there will be some lawmakers that oppose this. Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Kyrsten Sinema will be two senators that would oppose an additional stimulus check. But at the same time, and I addressed this earlier on today, is even though they may oppose this, we could see lawmakers give them something in return. For example, adjusting the corporate tax rate. Instead of going all the way up to 28%, they could settle at 25%, which would be a huge win for Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. So we will see what happens there. But there's a lot of reports out right now that says Democrats want to see additional stimulus, but also see stimulus extended. We also have a new bill, or a new proposal for a bill that I want to address as well. This is going to help out single parents, so there's good news there. But let's get into the update. First off, the federal unemployment benefits will be expiring next week. On Monday, they will be expired. What we know right now is there's a group of over 50 lawmakers that are pushing to see these benefits extended. There's probably more than that. My guess is there's the majority of Democrats want to see the unemployment benefits get extended, but they don't have the majority right now. Okay, they just don't, because they have to have 50 senators, 50 Senate Democrats that agree, and right now they don't have that. So it looks like this will not be included into the next bill. But again, this bill might not even pass until October. So there's still going to be about 1 month's worth of time that people that are unemployed do not have any income. What I can tell you right now is that yes, there's going to be over 7 million people that will lose 100% of their income in less than 1 week. Some experts are saying that the jobs that are available right now are either for people that are I don't want to say they're bad jobs, but they're lower tier jobs. They're jobs that usually are going to be paid minimum wage. And some of these jobs, according to experts, they say these are mostly lower paying jobs, and they are jobs that the majority of people just don't want. They don't want because they say people will essentially be poor by working at these jobs. So they're minimum wage jobs. But again, they are jobs. So we'll see what happens there. But the thing is, the $300 per week boost, that $1,200 per month boost for people on unemployment, that goes away in like 6 days. So things aren't looking great. They also say that some jobs are actually for people that are not qualified to take on these jobs. So the jobs that are out there, people are either overqualified for or underqualified for. The majority of people that are on unemployment are the lower to middle income earners, is what we're hearing. But at this time, those are not the jobs that we need. We need the better paying jobs, but those just aren't available. And when they were, people snapped them up very quickly. Some are saying right now that $16, $17 per hour would be great. Well, it is great if you live in the South. But if you live in California, even here in Washington State, $16 to $17 per hour is just a typical job. So that's one of those things that we're seeing. It really depends on, and it really reflects on where you live in the country. But again, lawmakers are looking at other ways to provide additional stimulus to those that are unemployed. But again, we'll see what happens there. And while many Democrats say that letting unemployment expire while the surge in Delta COVID cases is happening, this is just going to harm even more people. They say families are going to have to live together, and this could increase the spread even faster. They say that people will have to rely on others for additional help. And by relying on others for additional help, chances are the COVID cases will just increase. Again, there's a lot of discussions happening right now, but while all these discussions are happening, where is Congress? They're on recess. They're back at their home districts. They are not in Washington. They're not in Washington, so how are they going to make any type of changes? How are they going to pass any bills? They're not. And again, the Senate, they don't come back to Washington. They don't come back to Capitol Hill until September 13th. And the House of Representatives, they don't come back until the 20th. So the Senate has 2 more weeks. The House has 3 more weeks until anything even gets done. So we'll see what happens there. There is a new bill out, though. It's called the Single Parent Penalty Elimination Act. This is actually, it's interesting. And I bring this up because I've been saying this for a while. By having these certain rules written into the bills, for example, as far as like stimulus checks, you make over a certain amount of money, great, you don't get the money. That makes sense, right? You make over what, $150,000 or whatever it was, you don't get the full amount. It would actually drop off, or it would just completely go away. That makes sense. But here's where things get very interesting. The child tax credit payments is really what this is going to impact, because some lawmakers are saying that having $300 per month go to a certain parent, okay, that's great. It is going to the parent and they can help the child. But what if the child is supposed to be split between the different parents, right? What do we do then? What do we do then? Well, there's options for that. But what I can tell you is this Single Parent Penalty Elimination Act, this is going to provide the same amount for the child tax credit payments to single parents. And so here's what you need to understand. Lawmakers are saying that providing a full tax credit just for couples makes it harder for single parents, and this is true. But this is true for individuals as well, not just families. So again, they're calling this the American Families Plan. Issue there is we're only actually helping and benefiting families. What about individuals? And that's what I keep bringing up. There's nothing for individuals. And that's where some lawmakers are trying to push back, saying, hey, we're forgetting a large group of people and we need to provide for them as well. So that's good news that we are starting to see something, at least something. Whether it's good or bad, at least we're seeing something and there's more talks on it. Some are saying that right now, food is not less expensive for single parents. They say daycare isn't cheaper for single parents, and the cost of raising a child doesn't change when you have one parent versus 2. And it doesn't. The costs are the same. But on the opposite note, I just want to provide clarity on both sides. There are others that are saying providing a $300 per month child tax credit to 2 different parents. Let's say the mother and the father, right? They're living separately. They're going to provide $300 per month to each one of them. Okay, great. The problem there is we're going to see a lot of people trying to defraud the system. Some experts say that a single parent penalty elimination act would create more issues as people will try to defraud the system, and they say the system is going to fail if it's done this way. They say that by claiming or by saying the parents are temporarily separated, they could probably get the $300 payment or $250 per month payment on each side. The problem there is it becomes very expensive if a lot of parents decide to do this. Again, it's not right. They're defrauding the system, but this is what we saw when they were giving out stimulus checks to the American people. This is what we saw when the PPP loans came out, and people that didn't really have a business or didn't have a need for the loan, they still got it because they changed the rules. They wrote the bill so quickly, they left in all these different holes, and that's what we saw. So some are saying that that is what we're going to see again if the Single Parent Penalty Elimination Act does go through. But again, we will see what happens there. What I can tell you regarding the child tax credit payments is that they are pushing to get this extended for an additional 4 years. This would go all the way through 2025. But here's the thing, and I just want to be clear on this. This is something that Democrats say must be included into the next bill. But here's the issue. And we saw this when Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and President Biden were trying to pass the last bill. They were trying to, and they were telling people, do not come to me. And this is mainly with Senator Schumer. He was saying, do not come to me and say, I will only vote for this bill if, or I'm not going to vote for this bill because of this. We all need to stand together. So what he's saying is, do not say that this must be included into this next bill. He's not doing that with the student loan forgiveness payments. He's not saying that. He's not saying that as far as the cannabis business. He's not doing any of that. What he's doing is he's just keeping his mouth shut, and he's telling President Biden, you should do this, you should do that. But at the same time, he's trying to run the Senate. And so what I can tell you right now is, if we see a lot of different parties saying, I'm only going to vote for this bill and I will only support it if we see child tax credit payments, if we see student loan forgiveness, if we see immigration reform, if we see Medicare extended or expanded, if we see all these different things and all these different lawmakers have their hands in the pot, it's never going to pass. And so that's the troubling issue, or the troubling part right now, is we're going to have multiple issues very soon. One of the other issues that we've been seeing lately, a lot of lawmakers are still pushing for that fourth stimulus check. I want to just touch on this for a second, because that fourth stimulus check is being seen by many as a survival check. They need it. They want it. That's something that they have to have, or else they will not be able to pay to put food on the table. They will not be able to pay their next month's worth of rent. They will not be able to pay to have medications that they desperately need just to survive. This is a survival check. This is not stimulus. It's not going to help out the economy. Yes, it will in the grand scheme of things, but in the short term, it should just be there to help out the American people. That's all the government should be there for, to provide security for the American people. But again, that's not what they're doing. Today, what they were doing was, today was the final day that U.S. troops were going to be in Afghanistan. The final flight came out. This was the longest war in U.S. history, and with this withdrawal, it actually leaves a good amount of American citizens still in country. So some are saying that we are going to be able to get them out and everything's going to be fine. According to reports, last night the U.S. came to an agreement with the Taliban that they will allow people to continue to leave Afghanistan without any issues. But again, talk is cheap. We have to actually see it to believe it. So as of right now, I hope this happens. I hope every single American citizen actually can leave the country if they want to, and I hope they can do it without any issues. But what I can tell you right now is, right now, the Biden administration has their hands full, not only with issues over in Afghanistan, but they got issues down at the Mexican border. They have to deal with the stimulus and the infrastructure talks. They have to deal with this debt ceiling. There's a lot of stuff going on. And then the other issue on top of that, and we've been seeing a lot of reports on this, is that President Biden is actually being instructed to call on specific people during his interviews so that they can ask the specific questions that the White House has actually addressed. So they're trying to skip over everything. And the hard part with that is we're not being fed the truth. We're seeing more lies. So again, as we get more of the truth, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.